All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Snagged Podcast and Giveaways. Bit of a light crew today. Young Patrick, and you're up north, I believe, my man, up in Launceston.
Sure, up north. I am up in Lonnie doing a bit of TAFE, so love that.
Got to learn all that stuff. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
you've had a bit of a busy weekend with socialising more than fishing yourself. You didn't get out for a fish over the weekend?
No, I ended up, they had a bit of a festival going on at the old botanical gardens, so I went in there and had a bit of a wander around, and that was good. But yeah, then woke up, I was Sunday morning a bit regretfully and ended up
We
making me
do
way
these
up,
things.
yeah, making me way up to Lonnie for TAFE, and that's been me. So yeah.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, let's get into some stuff. Now, Patrick, you had a question you wanted to ask.
Yeah, so I've been watching a few videos lately of some people losing some expensive gear over the side of their boats. I was wondering if you two have ever lost anything expensive or nearly lost anything expensive while fishing.
Yeah. Well, I haven't lost much over the side, but no doubt you have, Dylan. Go for it.
Where do you want me to? Where do you want me to start? Jeez, like
45-minute intro. Let's go.
Yeah, so I did the old drop a rod over the side of the boat at Lake Crescent. It was a recently new brought rod and reel that I got that was around $600, and it was Lake Crescent winter, it's freezing. I had the waders on, and whenever I get cold, I do the old hands down, grab the nuts. It's quite clinical to watch, but it works, and it works absolute deeds. And so I've put my rod in between my legs, and I've closed, and I've slid down. I'm like, oh, that's warm. I'll open my legs up and get a bit more warmth, and then forgot that I had the rod in my legs, and sort of just open them up a bit more, and there went the rod into the water, and that was about it. So yeah, but other than that, the most thing that I'd almost lost is I've had the handbrake cable in the patrol snap on a boat ramp while I was putting the boat on. So I had to literally, because the patrol's it's weird to drive because it's got such a soft clutch in it. So I had to have my mate put his foot on the brake, then put my hand down so he could get out, then he put his hand on the brake so then I could jump in and then drive out, and it was basically get home and order another handbrake cable ASAP. But yeah,
years and years and years ago, I had one. I had a brand new Loomis rod back in the day when Loomis were humongous, had a lot of range. The thing was, I'm talking like 15, maybe 20 years ago. That rod was about $1,200 back then, so you can imagine how expensive it was. Had that with a Stella sitting on it. It was my favourite combo for obvious reasons. It was worth a fortune. Absolutely loved it. And I was strange enough just fishing off the rocks for wrasse with it, because that's what you do. Anyway, we had all the stuff. We had about 4 rods with us, and said to my mate, all right, let's chuck everything in the back of the car. You grab the rods. Walked up to the car. No worries at all. Did that. Drove off. We're only staying fairly close, but chucked everything back in there, got it there, went inside, had a few beers and all the rest of it. I was sitting out the front deck, and you could see we'd been fishing off the rocks, and there was a heap of guys that down in the water chasing. I'm assuming they were floundering, so you could see the lights and stuff going through. And I thought, oh yeah, cool, no worries. Oh, they're just down where we are. They must be having a bit of fish in the same sort of area. Must be something kicking around over there. Got up in the morning, got in the back of the car, getting ready to go fishing in a completely different spot. And I'm like, where's my rod? Well, I said, mate, you put them all in, didn't you? And he went, yeah, I think so. I said, well, where's that one? He said, don't know. I'm like, oh, God, here we go. So I jumped in the car, ran straight back down the spot, and there it was, sitting exactly on the thing where I'd left it. And the other crazy thing was, one of the guys that had been floundering there, about 3-4 metres away, was one of his flounder lights where he'd obviously been in the same area and left it there. Lucky, man. So either he was felt bad for me and left me his flounder light, or he just thought, nah, I'm going to leave something there for you too. And I just left it there against the rocks. Hopefully he come back and got it. So, But it does happen. Yeah. It's a sad time. I've heard reports of, I think Steersy or Coxie, one of the guys from Cranker, was telling me youngs ago they had like a brand new $1,200-$1,300 combo, and they were looking at a brim or something, and they just landed one, and they had their lure hanging over the edge, just out of the water, and a mackerel come up and grabbed it out of the water and pulled the whole thing in straight to the bottom of the Derwent. It's a sad time, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, no,
It does happen though.
it's amazing though. Like you point out, it's like there's a lot of respect in fishing in the sense that like like if someone has gone fishing and left a tackle box or left a rod or something like that, like a lot of the times you'll see people will go, oh well, I mean, I know how much a fishing lure costs, let alone a whole tackle box of them. Like I might do the right thing and leave it and hope that they come back, but you know you feel great about it until you realise the next person probably went through and just picked it up and took it. But it at least makes you feel good. So
That's good. That's good to do. What's that? Another cool thing. I'm not sure if you saw it or not. There, I was reading something on Facebook about this tag kingfish up on the mainland. I was reading. It said kingfish on the move, moving 637 kilometres in just 7 days. Deakin University has developed an acoustic tag. They put them into 40 kingfish in 2023. One particular kingfish, 121.7 centimetres. That's a good kingy. Tagged on the 9th of Feb 2023. At Percy Island, was detected 7 months later on the south coast of New South Wales off Coffs Harbour. 7 days later, an average swim of 91 kilometres a day, 637 kilometres all up. That's insane.
yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. Like to put in that perspective, like what are the ones in Tassie doing? Because we all think, oh yeah, they come down with the warmer water currents and then they go up into the estuaries and all that, and then they stay there just chasing bait until it gets a bit cold and then they piss back off. But it's like, what are they actually doing? Are they going into the bay and then going out and going back up the east coast for a day and then coming back down? Or like, it'd be quite interesting because I mean, it's such a different system to all of that sort of northern side of it where it's a lot warmer up there, like most year round. Where here it's like it's warm and it's not. Like it'd be quite interesting to see whether they actually like come down to Hobart for a bit and then like say we have a cold day or two, they just scoot back up chasing that warmer water, or
Yeah.
whether they stay or yeah.
What the guys, yeah, and where they end up. Yeah, it'd be interesting, like to see, like, like what are they doing after they leave here? Are they just going back up the coast and go back to the mainland, or are they shooting over New Zealand, or are they just going out deep, or what they're doing? It'd be interesting to see. I'm trying to get all those acoustic decks down here. Talk to the guys at IMS.
Because yeah, like talking to a bloke that I used to work to who he was a commercial kingfisherman off. I can't remember whether it was like top of New South Wales or Queensland, and like throughout winter, all they'd do is just go find reefs and jig off them, like deep water reefs and jig off them and catch kingfish. And it's like, do any of them stay down here? Like I know it's really cold water, but is there the odd one or two that find a bit of reef, X amount off up north where it's a little bit warmer and stick around, or whether they just completely piss off, which is probably the most likely case because who wants to be in cold Tassie water when you could be in Queensland? So
They're probably heading up north. Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see what comes out of that. The other cool thing that's kicking around at the moment, Mark Berg's back in Tasmania doing a bit of filming down south with young gun Will Thorpe. I think they're down there having a bit of a chase with some brimskis and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. It'll be interesting to see
yeah,
how the guys go with that.
yeah, I did see a story from Will Thorpe, and it was a photo of a mussel lure that looked very well attacked, and something along the lines of 5 odd dozen brim that had attacked it, which after fishing the Huon River with him 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I can definitely see that happening because like we absolutely stomped them and all he'd have to do is the same thing and should be another absolute cracker of a day. So yeah.
Love it. Absolutely.
Mm.
All right, let's get on to some reports. Let's get on to it. Okie dokie. Go, big man.
There are plenty of kingfish still in the south. Blackman's Bay area is going well. and still hordes of salmon and mackerel everywhere.
Yeah, I was talking to a few guys this morning in the shop, talking about the level. There's still bucket loads of kingfish kicking around. They've been fishing around Blackman's Bay Rocks, just south of the rocks there, around the kelp farm. Some guys starting to get 6 in a day. It's good numbers of kingfish by any stretch of the imagination, so it's kind of good. Obviously, as you were saying before, there's salmon and mackerel absolutely there, so they're obviously smashing that. But definitely a much larger incline for people using hard bodies this year than there is plastics. We're still selling pieces of plastics, but a lot of the guys seem to be doing really well. They're using slightly smaller casting sort of stick baits, which is kind of cool. So a little bit of tip out there. Don't just stay with your plastics. Use a little bit of everything. Another really cool one. Reports of striped marlin off Eagle Hook Neck out wide. Obviously, the striped marlin were going insane up at St. Helens not that long ago, but they're catching them down here as well. So awesome work there. I would say a couple of guys are saying the hardest thing they do is actually try and stay hooked to them. And, doing a bit of research and talking to a few guys and my friends up north that chase them, they're saying that the hardest thing is obviously down here we're using really quite thick gauge hooks, whereas they're using good, super high quality thin gauge hooks up north, and that's how they manage to make them stick. So another little bit of something there for people to try. Recent reports have flattered in the Channel and Storm Bay, so the average size is well and truly up, and it looks like everything's working really well for the not closure, but restrictions that are being placed at the moment. So fingers crossed, give that a couple of years and we'll be smashing them in the Channel.
That's good. Still plenty of squid in the south. Dan's Point, Betsy Island, and Snagged.
Yeah, still plenty of calamari kicking around. All sorts of jig sizes, colours. Doesn't seem to really matter too much at the moment. A lot of guys saying they are fishing pretty light leaders, though. Browns River, fishing well for bream. A lot of guys going back to the old bait style thing. Pilchards filleted on the side. Tiny little strip baits are pilchard, nice and shiny. Going to be working on little small circle hooks. And the Derwent is still fishing well for bream. Montrose Bay is a standout area. But I think you could be fishing anywhere at the moment, and there's plenty of them in there.
Yeah. Reports of bluefin down at Eagle Hawk Neck.
Absolutely, yeah. Plenty of blueies kicking around down there at the moment. Not a lot of jumbos, but it's the occasional report. But yeah, heaps of blueies around there, which is good.
Swordfish are going well, with many anglers managing to hook up quickly.
Yeah, so it was Nathan Housing and one of his mates, and Lockie Nichols. I know they went out the other day, and they got landed 2 and tagged 2. I think, or maybe tagged. I'm not sure. I think they tagged them, but that was in pretty quick succession for that. I think that's why when you know where the sorties are, you drop down. Sometimes it doesn't take long. Yeah, which is a cool thing as well. You put so much effort into rigging up and buying the gear to do it. It's nice to be rewarded. This was a cool report I had this afternoon. Bluefin at Whale Head down south there. They were catching them in as little as 15 to 10 metres of water. They said there was acres and acres of them. So obviously, hopefully they're heading up the east coast there, and Eagle Neck will be going crazy. A few reports of snapper in the Derwent, land-based, which is kind of cool. A lot of guys going out chasing them on soft plastics and stuff. So Derwent's actually a much better snapper fishery than I think a lot of people realise. So it's good to see a few guys chasing them on lures.
Tamar fishing well for King's George Whiting on the Black Magic Reefs.
Absolutely. Not really area. You probably know more about that up there because you've fished it quite a few times, but good to see that's going well.
Reports
yeah, no, they're all...
You're right,
I was going to say, the Tamar is just chronically, ridiculous how well it fishes for King George Whiting. It's basically all year now. They're in there all year. You might have to bump around a few spots, but genuinely, all year in the Tamar at the moment is you can go there and you at least get 5, basically one person bag, which is pretty good going for a fish that 5 years ago in the Tamar it was hit and miss. So yeah,
it's good to see.
Good. Reports of some blue spot flathead at Eagle Hawk Neck and in Pirates Bay.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tongue twister, that one.
Yeah.
A few guys saying they've been getting a few blue spot flatties up in the shallows of Pirates Bay, which has been kind of cool. And out really quite deep as well. Traditionally, I think you catch them usually in a metre or 2 of water. But yeah, there's been a few guys starting to get a few of those on plastics and stuff, which is cool.
Good.
It's a cool one. Some yellowfin tuna being caught off Biff and Owen St. Helens. Hell yeah, bring that on. We'd love a bigger fishery there.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you exactly what they're catching them on, but I think predominantly skirts. But let's bring that on. Let's go.
All right, on to Brags.
Brag time.
MSK fishing with a cracking brim from the Derwent.
Absolutely. It's a nice fish. It was nice and yellow, that one. Amy Lovett and Jack Gillespie with a cracking brown trout. Awesome work, Amy. Phil Dance and crew with a nice bluey to start the day off the other day. Those guys know how to fish.
The boys from Double Hook Fishing Charters with a healthy 74.8 kilo bluefin.
Cracking fish. Awesome job, guys. Gareth Saxon with some nice cracking browns from Lake Crescent. They were good fish. Well done, legend.
Roy Esser and the crew with some awesome kingfish from up the coast.
Yeah, it's a cool photo of you. Probably see there with the three of the guys holding it there with smiles all around. It's a cool one. Josh Strodwick with a... Sounds like you got some friends in the background.
Someone's carrying on.
That's it. Josh Strodwick with a bit of showrod action on the blue spot flatties in about 50 metres of water on 8-pound braid, using little tiny octopus-looking sort of soft plastic. So good job, Josh.
Mickey Davison with a cracking kingfish.
Adam Rusty with a nice kingfish as well.
Leo Taylor with some awesome kings from the northwest.
Yeah, they're still around, man. It's amazing me how long these kingfish are hanging around for. It's awesome. It's kind of cool. Hopefully we get them out for a couple more months. It'd be nice. Paul Vernon with some nice snapper from the Derwent on soft plastics, like what we were talking about before. Awesome job, Paul. Sam Lucas and co. with an epic sword. Good job there, guys.
Ryla Berry with a nice brim from the belt.
Yeah, that was a cool fish. Good job. Right. David Scherf with a cracking King George Whiting. And ladies we were talking about before with the swords, Nathan Housing, Jack Mundy, both with some epic swords. They got out while fishing with Lockie Nichols. Awesome job there. Yeah. Sword fishing is such a cool thing. They're such an epic looking fish. And it's good to see guys getting onto them without too much trouble. Cool. So the cool thing next week, we're giving away that rod and reel combo. Don't forget, guys, if you want to be in the running to win that $1,000 Shimano combo, it's an epic kingfish outfit, or even probably casting for tuna because it's a little bit bigger. That it's going to go really well. But you've got to be a member, and if you want to be a member, how do you do it, Dylan?
www.snagged.com.au. Head over there. I've got a couple of memberships going on, and get one, get into it, and go from there.
It helps support us guys to do this every single week and take the time to do it, but also puts you in the draw to win some awesome prizes, and hopefully you'll be getting a call from us. Cancel any time. We appreciate the support. And I think that's about us for the week.
Yeah.
I had to go get the culprit. Carrying on at someone.
That's it. Well, get the dog next week, do some talking. All right, my man. Catch you next week.